the good old summertime, in the good old summertime.
Well, yeah, I mean, so Jackson was the sort of amateur that we've spoken about earlier, who went to a leading public school, Harrow, and then he went to Cambridge, like Jessop, but he was there earlier. Had the classical upbringing in terms of cricket coaching, played orthodoxly, was a very, very good player, scored 500s against Australia in Test matches. He had a great temperament for the big matches. Some
Mm.
England players who were, CB Fry being a case in point. He had a phenomenal record in county cricket, but he struggled in Test cricket to sort of handle the scrutiny. In fact, CB Fry is a sort of big part of my book because he played in a couple of the early tests, then got dropped because he'd made no runs. But he was writing match reports for the Daily Express, and they were really good actually. And he was an eyewitness. He was one of the principal eyewitnesses of the Jessop innings, and he wrote some great stuff in the Daily Express about it. But he struggled with the pressure. Jackson didn't. He was a great big match player. So in the early part of the innings, when England struggled to 48 for 5, Jackson was the only player who could cope with the difficult conditions, and he batted very positively. And so when Jessop walked out, England were 48 for 5. 31 of those runs had been made by Jackson, who was playing in a positive manner. When Jackson saw how Jessop was going and scoring, attacking as you'd expect, and then doing very well, I think Jackson realised that actually his job was to just stay there, and Jessop would score the runs, but he needed to stay in so that England didn't lose any more wickets. And that would, if he could do that, that would be his most important job. So Jackson actually sort of changed gear quite dramatically. He just went into sort of defence mode, and he did it very well. But I think their partnership of 109, I think Jackson contributed 18 or something like that, because there was a few extras as well. So he really did. In all the time that he was batting with Jessop, he scored fewer than he had done in the previous period of play before Jessop went in. But Jackson played a really canny innings. I mean, he did the right thing and he played it very well. But he did start to sort of struggle towards the end before he got out. I think he was dropped twice, maybe by, I think, a slip, and then at short leg he was dropped and then he got out. But that was an interesting partnership because one man was going berserk and the other one was sort of furiously defending.